is how you feel on the inside. It's not something physical. Yet within today's society, beauty is an omnipresent characteristic that plagues the young girls and women of today just because the mainstream media has convinced them that inner beauty is less important than physical beauty. We as little girls grow up in this world knowing that we can never be good enough. How we view ourselves unfortunately depended on the media, celebrities, models, and fashion designers. Unfortunately, women tend to be the most commonly and most severely affected from the media standards of beauty. From a young age, we're constantly being compared to computer-manipulated images of already thin and cosmetically ideal models. This causes women of all ages to suffer from body dissatisfaction. Within Canada, according to Canadian Women's Health Network, between 80 to 90% of women are unhappy with the way they look. This can lead to some serious negative health impacts. Now, girls are starting to diet younger than ever before, sometimes starting as early as 5 years old. More and more girls and women are suffering from mental illnesses, such as depression when they do not measure up to the media standards of beauty. And lastly, 1 out of 10 women suffer from eating disorders such as anorexia or bulimia. This is not okay. We live in a world where we're constantly altering ourselves to feel beautiful, too scared when we get a new pimple or gain a little bit of weight. Just because we as women are bound by expectations, but truly trapped by our insecurities. The truth is, beauty standards will never go away. But I believe it's our job to stop believing in these unnecessary, unrealistic beauty standards and to not let our insecurities harm us in any which way. We have to make sure that it's our job to stop viewing ourselves negatively just because media or society thinks that we're not good enough and that we do not fit into that small hole of acceptance. The truth is, we have let our insecurities harm us in ways without us even realizing. Imagine a cookie. This cookie represents your insecurities. One of my biggest insecurities has actually been my skin tone. Each and every one of us has a small piece of your insecurity cookie baking in the oven, which is the standard set by society. That cookie gets larger and larger each time we feed more and more towards our insecurities. And I did exactly the same thing. I started believing that something was truly wrong with my skin tone. When relatives would say things like, "Don't go into the sun too much, you'll get darker," I felt much more worse about myself, and I actually started believing it. I let it get to my head. I realized that I needed to stop this toxic thoughts and beliefs before it was too late. I looked at my insecurity cookie, and just like that, like any other cookie, in order to get rid of it, I had to eat it away. So I ate away all the standards set for me and my skin tone. I realized that I had to turn the oven of today's society off, and the pressure slowly started to decrease, and I became much, much more happier. I finally realized that there was nothing wrong with me to begin with. And that's exactly what I want each and every one of you to realize, that there's nothing wrong with your skin, your body, your face, or your hair, because that's what truly makes you different, unique, and beautiful. I want you all to stand together and stand up to the way women are being portrayed in the media, as well as stand up to yourself and understand that it's not necessary to follow these unrealistic beauty expectations. Become confident in your skin and body and become a role model to all the girls around the world. Thank you.
Hi, Sasha.
Hi.
You did such an amazing job. I loved it. I
Thank you.
resonate with your feminist spirit. A lot of what you were saying about these ideologies that are placed onto young girls, especially that feminist perspective, I really, really liked it.
Yeah.
I also liked your rhetorical devices, your ongoing metaphors, your analogies, your pathos, the appeal to emotions. Loved every single thing. I think you can bring in more concepts about objectifying women through the media, through the male gaze and things like that.
Okay.
But overall, even that statistic that 80 to 90% of women are unhappy with their looks here in Canada, you said, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just such a real topic.
Yeah.
And I think you delivered it with so much passion. It was amazing.
I just felt like because this is a culture, like just
Yeah.
within our community,
Mhm.
like having like girls that are my age and feeling
Yeah.
like not good enough because of their skin tone or
know.
something like that is so sad.
It's-
And not only that, like we already feel like inferior because of our skin tone and things like that. And I feel like it's unnecessary when girls feel like that. Like we should stand tall and be proud of who we are.
I agree. You're so inspiring. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
How would you feel if your child's life relied on an organ donor? That your child's life could be saved within one decision, one person, and what if that one person could be you? Over 4,500 Canadians are in need of an organ donor each year, and more than 250 people die waiting for an organ donation. Even though 90% of Canadians support organ donations, only 20% are registered to be donors. But we need to change that. But to do so, you might be asking how. To ensure you're a donor after death, you can begin by registering with your province's donor registry. Or you can fill out an organ donor card when you get or renew your driver's license. To become a living donor, where you're willingly offering an organ donation that will not put your life at risk long-term or short-term, you can either work directly with your friend's transplant team or contact a transplant center in your area. Some of the organs that could be donated are a liver, kidney, lung, or part of a lung. Now, before you decide whether you'd like to be a donor or not, you must identify the pros and cons to ensure you make the right decision for your health. Pros. Probably the greatest benefit of being an organ donor is knowing that you're saving a life, that you're able to provide a second chance of life for an individual who's in need. The recipient does not have to be dependent on costly treatments and can live a normal, stress-free lifestyle. One organ donation will change the life of the recipient, and additionally, all the others who care and depend for the recipient. Cons. An organ donation is a major surgery, and as all surgeries, it comes with risks such as bleeding, blood clots, infections, and damage to nearby tissues or organs. Although you will have anesthesia during the surgery, as a living donor, you may go through pain. But just remember that the recipient may have gone through life-threatening circumstances. Therefore, your pain for the time being will be worth it knowing that you saved a life, especially if you saved an individual you really cared about. 11 years ago, a story that truly inspired me was an incident that occurred with a close family friend of mine. Uncle Lloyd was in urgent need of a kidney transplant, and his circumstance was life-threatening. At this point, the entire family was heartbroken. But luckily, one of his older sister, Miss Arlene, had decided to donate her kidney for Mr. Lloyd. This story had a happy ending, and we could be saving a lot more lives similarly if we made selfless decisions and were empathetic towards each other, just as Miss Arlene. As you can see, an organ donation can be the most important decision you ever make and the greatest gift you can ever give. So, I'm going to leave you with a message from Michael Jordan, who's the sponsor of the Tissue Donor Awareness. Some people want it to happen. Some people wish it could happen. And then there's others who make it happen. So I'm here today to encourage each one of you to stop wishing and start making a decision that would save 8 lives, restore sight to a blind person, and help save 75 others with the help of your tissues. Thank you.
I don't really have many comments at all. Amazing. I enjoyed every little bit of that. You were
Thank you.
passionate about the delivery of your message and your body language. Great facial expression. Like every time you looked at me, I wanted to engage in the more, like I wanted to talk more to you, like with, you know, when you were delivering the message.
Thank you.
And I have nothing else to say. It was really, really good. Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Kyosi Damapalan and I'm 12 years old and I'm soon to go to grade 7. The topic I chose to talk about is education, the gift of life. Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. This is because people who have access to quality education can contribute to society to improve people's lives. For example, without education, scientists and researchers would be unable to create medicines and cures. First and foremost, It is important to recognize the unlimited knowledge we receive through education. Teachers invest a lot of time and resources to help us, students. Those who have access to good schools, good teachers, and good after-school programs have a higher chance of doing well in life in terms of job satisfaction and financial success. Secondly, obtaining access to quality education serves to enhance the quality of life. Often those who have access to quality education live privileged lives because they have more opportunities. These opportunities allow them to have rich life experiences, allowing them to travel and to live extravagantly. For example, Jeff Bezos went to Princeton University and now owns Amazon, which is the most profitable company in the world. One reason he's living luxuriously is because he had the opportunity to go to an amazing university and used his business knowledge in an effective way. Therefore, education has a strong connection to the quality of an individual's life as it is the gateway to financial success. Last but not least, education allows individuals to use what they know to help others. For example, Michelle Obama is a classic example for this. She uses her own knowledge to help advocate for women. Another inspirational person who help women is Malala. She gained international recognition and won the Nobel Peace Prize for risking her life to establish a woman's right to quality education. As a result, education permits individuals to utilize what they have learned to positively contribute to society. To conclude, education is truly the ultimate gift life has to offer. Thank you for listening.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for that powerful speech. I loved your quote. I think as an educator, that's also a quote that I always refer to. Knowledge is definitely a powerful weapon. I loved how your usage of the cue cards. I think with a bit more practice, I think you'd be able to use maybe one of your hands for your body language and hand gestures, and then the other one to refer to your cue cards, but overall, great. You didn't completely read it, which was amazing. And I love how you elaborated on important women in education and how they contributed to society as well. But overall, a great speech. Thank you.
Hi, I am Abhirami, and today I want to talk about wind. Wind is a moving air. Air is everywhere. There is hot air and cold air. Hot air moves around, and cold air stays in one place. How does wind form? First, the hot air goes up. Then the cold air takes its place. The way of air moves is called wind. I like wind because it makes me feel happy. Wind is a good thing to have and it is a fun thing to have. It is a good thing to have because it makes electricity. The hot air goes up, then the cold air takes its place and it spins the windmill. It is a fun thing to have because on a windy day you could fly a kite. The hot air goes up, then the cold air takes its place and it lifts up the kite. When it is snowing, the wind could make a snowstorm. The hot air goes up and then the cold air takes its place, and if the snow is falling, the snow will go in the same direction as the wind is going. Thank you for listening to my speech.
Hi, Abhirami.
Hi.
Thank you for telling us all about wind. You had a lot of scientific facts about how it works. Did you want to be a scientist when you grew up?
No.
No, that's not one of your things. Well, you have all the potential too. I liked all the different connections you had. You said that it made you happy. You can fly a kite. You even talked about how windmills worked. So it was very informative, very well done. The next step, I would say, is maybe hand gestures, okay? You had a little bit, but a little bit more would make it a more engaging speech, okay?
Okay.
Very well done. Thank you.
It's in our oceans, on our streets, and it's becoming a bigger problem. Honorable judges and distinguished guests, good afternoon. Today, what I'm going to speak about is, could plastic destroy our world? You all know what plastic is. It is derived from natural organic materials such as coal, natural gas, salt, and of course, crude oil. Crude oil is a complex mixture of thousands of compounds and needs to be processed before it can be used. The average person uses 4 plastic bottles each day, which weighs about 4 grams, and there are over 7 billion people living in this world. If all of us dumped these bottles, we would add about 28 million grams of plastic as pollution each day. People need to realize that we can't dump plastic like this because it will cause harm to our environment. A report by the World Economic Forum in 2016 stated that worldwide plastic use has risen by 20-fold in the past 50 years. At this rate, it is predicted to double again in the next 20 years. Compounded with the fact that plastic will take up to 1,000 years to decompose in landfills, it is possible that Earth and all of its life will be drowning in plastic in the future. A report by the World Economic Forum in 2016 stated that worldwide plastic use has risen by 20-fold in the past 50 years. At this rate, it is predicted to double again in the next 20 years. An estimated 1.8 trillion bits of plastic waste have gathered along a single stretch on the Pacific Ocean between Hawaii and California, an exponential increase since the 1970s. Given these statistics, the situation on Earth Day 2020 may seem dismal. Is there anything we can do? The answer is yes. Bring your own reusable shopping and produce bags to markets, and avoid using single-use plastic bags. Take reusable coffee cups when going out to get beverages. Get reusable stainless steel or glass straws instead of using wasteful plastic ones. Instead of buying water from plastic bottles, invest in a water filter and reusable water bottles. Bonus, it's cheaper in the long run. Get a reusable container to a restaurant with you when you expect to have leftovers. As you can see, there are many ways to prevent plastic from destroying our planet. But what is bad and dangerous is the pollution from plastic. Most people are still continuing to pollute. It's important to realize this and take action. It's important to find a balance where you don't use plastic on a daily basis. Learn to limit yourself to a lesser amount of usage each day. If you use more plastic than you're supposed to, you know you're doing something wrong. So let me conclude by asking you a question. Will you help our planet by reducing the use of plastic? Could I please have a show of hands? Great. Thank you.
Hi, Akshay.
Hi.
Amazing speech.
Thank you.
Fantastic. You were very passionate.
Yeah.
Which I truly enjoyed. I saw it throughout your hand gesture, your facial expression, everything. Your voice, everything about it. I truly enjoyed that. I love the way you use your stats. I don't have anything for you to improve on, to be honest.
Okay.
It was a fantastic speech.
Thank you.
Amazing. Keep it up.
Okay.